Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Moscow, and today we have another long boring review for professional toy hunters or people who want to find out which version does a person have in his collection, an original toy or a bootleg version. So this time we have Masked Scar Predator by Neca, a figure from 2016. Okay, I have two original versions of this figure. And I know that this figure was severely bootlegged, and there are fake versions. I personally know that there are 3 unofficial versions of this toy. 2, I believe, bootlegs, and 1 is a straight copy of this figure, or a KO version. As I understand, there are 2 main versions of original figure. One has more silver biomask, and another has a little more darker biomask because of the weathering, additional weathering on its helmet. Okay, let's look on the figures more closely. So this will be also a comparison video between the 2 originals. First version versus second version. Unfortunately, I don't have a blister for the regular version with more silver helmet, but I have the blister for the second version of this figure. Okay, let's look on the package. Here is Scar in the package. Both figures came to me second hand. As you can see, the official version was packed with black wires. Okay, Masked Scar Predator from AVP. You can see good contrast of prints. Okay, first of all, you should look on this number, but I warn you, the bootleggers also put these numbers on the fake versions, so you should definitely compare the font of this number. 367 and 012116. This is 21st of January 2016. Okay. The contrast of printing is very good. It is a little bit pale, but you can see all the details on the package. Okay. Here's the bio. And also the production information. This type of under 3 years logo. This thin rim around the recycled symbol, 20th Century Fox, real toys without white inserts. Okay, once again the number and the UPC number, UPC code. Okay, let's open it. Okay, let's look on the printings once again. Very good contrast. All details are seen here. The stomach armor or chest armor. Okay. Here is Scar on the blister. I call this second edition, second version of the same exact wave. But the placement on the blister is just the same. Underneath you have this additional lodgements. Okay, here is the number 51529. Okay, and as I said, the figure was packed with black wires. Okay, now I'll detach him and we'll look at him more closely. Okay, first is the review, and I decided to make it on a regular version, which most people have. Let's start from accessories. Here is the piece for shoulder cannon. Okay, you can see this articulated detail, and it can roll in and out, forward and back. Sorry. Here you can add the blaster. Okay, here it is. as it was in the movie. It could be detached. Okay, so here's the articulation. You can move the blaster as so, articulate here and here and even here. Okay, very beautifully done. Now the shuriken. Here is the shuriken. Excellent job. Very long blades, extended variant. The spear, closed variant. The ritual dagger. As you can see, unfortunately my doesn't have a tooth on the handle. This is because when you put the dagger inside here, and if you put the handle underneath this armor plate and you push it inside the hip, this tooth often breaks, so keep that in mind. Luckily there are many bootlegs, so I can restore this piece or make a customization. And the closed hand, here it is. Okay, I'll do this fast because there'll be a comparison. Okay, now let's look on the Scar himself. Here's Scar, beautifully done. This necklace, armor, all stuff in this area. Okay, here's the back of the figure. There is a port from the spear and two ports for the shoulder cannon. You should attach it here and here, and it holds very good. Okay, here are Neca signs. Fox always resolved, and Neca 2015, made in China. Articulation, the head does turn, the body turns in the chest and in the waist. The articulation here, here. You also can bend the elbow, the wrist, and an opening self-destruction mechanism. 360 movement in the arm. Here you can have the articulation, the movement on hip also, and the bendable knee, double hinged. Also the movable feet. Okay, all basic articulation on this figure. Let's compare two versions. Okay, let's start from the spears. Left is the first version and the right is regular version. Okay, pretty much identical. Now let's compare daggers. Left is first version, which I have. I call it first because I got it first. Okay. A dagger without tooth is the regular version. Almost the same painting, you can see here bronze color. And the tips are very narrow. Bootlegs have spreaded tips of the blades, dagger's blades. As you can see, pretty much close work. Now let's look on the shoulder cannons. Left is first version, so right is regular version. It seems to me that right is a little bit darker paint, but at the same time pretty much the same paint job. You can see here bronze colors inside this area, but pretty much the same. Okay, now let's look on the shurikens. First version, second version, they are identical. Let's look on the blades. Pretty much the same exact quality of painting. Good silver. And the closed hands, half open hands for dagger. Left is first version, right is second version. Pretty much the same. I think the regular version, which is on the right, has more darker colors, and here little lighter brown colors. Both hands have very good varnish. And from this side, the regular version has more brown. So it's a case of random paint job. These dots here are the same. Okay. Now is the main difference between these two versions. Left is the first version which I got, and right is the regular version. Do you see the difference? I do. This version has this totally silver visor, and the regular version has this silver blue color on the visor and this dark rim on the perimeter of the visor, which is printed, I believe. So the first version has a little bit more weathering effect, and this version regular is much more clean and shiny. But with these lightens, they are almost the same, but believe me, because of this more rusty effect with black painting, it seems a little bit darker. Okay, I really like the silver visor on this version. And if you think that it's a custom, no, it isn't. In fact, this toy, the head consists of two parts, and visor is the part of the head, and the biomask is the separate piece. So first they painted the visor and then put the mask. And you can see on this cheek, here's the gray color, silver color too, and the head wasn't customized. There are no signs that the biomask was detached. And on this version, you can see this blue silver paint on the cheek. So they painted the visor and then put the biomask on. Okay, this is the main difference. Originals have these tubes painted in silver. The regular version has more silver on tubes, and this version has less silver. Okay, also you can see that these cars have these dots on this area, on the open side of the head. And if you look very close, you can see that these dots are not painted, they are printed. There are little mesh on these dots. Okay, both has this bronze, copper and silver rings on the dreads, and both has these numbers 1, 2, 4, and this one 1, 2, 4. 3 dots here as well as here. So you can see the protocols are just the same. And also a little tip for you to understand if it is original or not. If you look here, you can see the mold issue, this dot, which is painted over by the paint, the same exact as on this version. Bootlegs and knockoffs usually don't have this dot. So watch here when you examine your toy. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I put the heads on. Let's look at them in this condition. First is the body armor. You can see that the paint is just the same as on these parts of armor, as well on the center, which suits the main paint scheme of the biomasks. Okay, here you can see the paint job of Scar's stomach. There should be these lines, which are birthmarks, here, here, and from this side you can see dots, here, 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 here. And if you examine their stomachs, you can see that they have the same exact protocols for painting. For example, in this romp, they do have the dot as well as here. They made the 2 dots in this romp as well as here, but they painted it not very good, but they tried to put 2 dots here. Also, if we see under the armor, there is 1 dot again, and it is here on this version. So the protocol of painting is just the same. Some unfair sellers put the torso of Chopper or Celtic Predator because they're not so rare, and put the bootleg head on this body. So a buyer thinks that he buys an original toy, but it is fake. Okay, let's look on the hips. Pretty much the same. And again, you can see here dots, 2 dots, and here 2 dots. Here's 1 dot, here's 1 dot. The same exact protocols. Okay, let's look from this side. Almost the same job. The paint job. The regular version has this more darkened panel. This version doesn't have it. There is a metal pin inside the door. Let's look inside the computers. From this side they're almost the same. More wash, black wash on the regular version. No countdown. Okay. From this side. Okay. A little more wider black area on the regular version. The fist, here it is, pretty much identical. From the back, let's look at them. Okay, here is a little bit difference on this version, more black here, and I think they tried to make these dots here and here in these romps, but on the regular version they are made a little bit cleaner. Okay, from this side, yes. Now we can see that here you can also see in this romp a dot as well. They tried to make it here, even these 2 dots here, and there is such dots. So we are sure that these two are original toys. Okay. Now let's look on the feet. Left leg. The same exact protocols. You can see here dot and here dot. Okay. From this side. Yes, they tried to make dots here too, but on this version slightly differs this area. Okay. Let's look on this ridings. Fox all rights reserved, almost the same exact font. Neca 2015, made in China. Okay, final words. What can I say? We can see that Neca makes the same exact trick when it produces the next wave for figures. But now they put different date of production in the number containing n, and in those times they didn't do that. They just changed the paint scheme a little bit, such on this figure. But we now were sure these are two real molds. At least I think so. Because if we speak about bootlegs, I saw two bootlegs and certainly one fake version. For example, some bootlegs have very blue visors, very bad paint, not blue silver, but blue paint. Some do have these black tubes, no silver paint. Another bootlegs have this central armor piece in black paint. Another have very dirty look because an exceeded weathering effect on biomask on armor and so on. Also, bootleg versions can't repeat this paint scheme where here we have this birthmarks as lines, and on the other side of scar we have these dots. Also they use very toxic yellow, very bright yellow color, or even a lemon color on its skin. And mostly the paint job not so cool as on the original toys. Okay, be aware of bootlegs. I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you for watching and goodbye.